Hi everyone, I have some amazing news to share with you in today's video. USCIS has officially announced that they will not be furloughing their 13,000 employees. For those of you that don't know, USCIS was planning on furloughing about 70% of their entire workforce at the end of this month. You might be asking, why was USCIS planning on furloughing so many workers? Well, it's because USCIS was in the midst and is still in the midst of a budget crisis due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Basically, USCIS is a self-funded organization. They collect their fees from applications that get filed by individuals that are seeking immigration benefits. When somebody files an application, that application usually comes with a filing fee, and USCIS uses those fees to pay for their expenses. That's the primary source of USCIS's revenues. Well, since the COVID-19 pandemic, immigration applications have gone down tremendously, and USCIS has been faced with a budget crisis. As a result of the budget crisis, USCIS requested a $1.2 billion bailout from Congress. The funds did not come, and USCIS was set to furlough about 70% of their entire workforce. Now, this would have been a major mess. USCIS is already very behind on applications, on printing green cards, and various other services that it performs. So if USCIS was forced to furlough 70% of their workforce, you can only imagine what kind of a mess we would have been in. But again, the great news is that USCIS has decided to not furlough its workers. So now I want to talk about why USCIS made this decision to hold off on furloughing its workers. Well, there's three main factors that played into USCIS's decision. First, USCIS was able to find creative solutions to save money. For example, USCIS cut its contracts with various third-party service providers. For example, in the past, USCIS outsourced the printing of green cards and employment authorization documents. Well, USCIS decided to take on those services in-house. So that's just one example of a way that USCIS found to save money. Another reason why USCIS was able to hold off on these furloughs is that USCIS ended up generating more revenue than it was projecting at the time it requested the $1.2 billion bailout. When USCIS originally requested a bailout from Congress, they were projecting to have a $571 million shortfall. Well, as of right now, they're projected to have a $230 million surplus. So USCIS is actually performing a lot better than what they were originally anticipating. Actually, USCIS is able to carry out its operations through November without having any furloughs. So that's another reason why USCIS was able to hold off on furloughing its workers. The third reason why USCIS decided not to furlough its workers is based on Congress's commitment to provide funding to USCIS. Over the last several months, Congress has made it a priority to find a solution to USCIS's budget crisis. As a matter of fact, just a few days ago on Saturday, the House of Representatives unanimously passed a bill to provide emergency funding to USCIS. So this commitment on behalf of Congress to find a solution for USCIS was another reason why USCIS decided to hold off on furloughing its workers. So now that we know why USCIS decided to stop the furlough of its workers, I want to share with you some important points that you should know about. The first important point that I want to mention is that USCIS is still not out of the woods. Again, as I mentioned earlier, in order to avoid furloughing its workers, USCIS had to make unprecedented cuts in various areas of its operations. As a result of these cuts, we can still expect to see increased delays to processing times. The second important point that I want to mention is that USCIS has not guaranteed that they will never have to furlough their workers. So it's still possible that at some point in the future, USCIS might have a need to furlough their workers. And the last point that I want to mention is that USCIS is still seeking financial assistance from Congress so that it can securely continue to operate. So again, guys, just to recap this video, USCIS has officially announced that they will not be furloughing their employees. This is amazing news for immigrants and potential immigrants everywhere. And the reason why USCIS was able to avoid these furloughs is because they performed better financially than how they were expecting to perform. They felt comfortable with the level of commitment from Congress to find a solution for USCIS. and because they were able to find creative ways to save money. But again, remember, the USCIS is not yet out of the woods. They have not promised to never furlough their workers, so furloughing is still something that's on the table potentially at some point in the future. And as a result of the cuts that USCIS has had to make, it's still very likely that processing times will continue to slow down. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope this good news helps to brighten up your day. If you know anybody that could benefit from this news, feel free to share this video with them. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you haven't yet done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay in touch with all the videos that we're posting. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us out when you do so. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.